We are here. So, like usual, when I'm done a DLC or a full game, I like to give my mini review of how the game is. After I've it's fresh off the press, I've just finished playing the game. How do I think the DLC was? From the perspective of the DLC, I actually liked it a lot. I liked it a lot more than Gorgon. And if I remember correctly, I like it more. I liked it more than the base game. Um, there's a few reasons for that, but we're gonna get to it a little bit later. But in general, I did like this DLC a lot more, and this DLC alone would be worth the expansion pass. Even though I'm not a big fan of the expansion pass. I'm not a big fan of DLC and season passes and stuff like that. I've never been a fan of that, but at least this makes it worth it. And it was a pretty good chunk of time too. It was maybe around 10 hours, 10, 12 hours, which is actually pretty good for a DLC. Um, it did feel separate enough from the main story. And the thing is, what's easy about comparing this with the Murder on Gorgon is that they're both murder mysteries. But I find this one was done so much better. There's more places to discover. Obviously, I'm not going to go through the sound and the graphics. I mean, if you've played the base game, you've played it through. Now, I will say this, and this is a caveat, and I said this at the beginning. I played the original base game on my original Xbox One. I played Murder on Gorgon, which is the first DLC. I played that on the One S. I didn't see a big difference between both. Both of them were chugging along, had a lot of problems keeping up. It was pretty intense. However, I playing this one. I played it on my Series X, so it's the first one I played on Series X, and oh my God, what a difference this makes! If I would have played this on the base game, I would have been so much happier. Um, it's so the loading times, just the loading times alone. Oh my God, I can just go like boom, boom, I'm done. The base game, you guys could go back and see when I was playing it. Holy crap! It was like wait, 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 and then it would like eventually come to fruition. So, having said that, um, wow, playing this on the Series X, such an improvement. And I think, like, I know that a lot of people are complaining that the Series X doesn't have a lot of first party games or whatever. I don't care. Just the fact of how fast the games are loading. I know the PS5 does the same thing, but I don't regret getting it at all. Especially now with Game Pass, the console version of Game Pass, it's so good. I have the Ultimate one, but still. So back to the review at hand. From a story perspective, I liked it a lot, and this is why. There were enough clues along the way that if you weren't paying attention, you would have been like, "Man, whatever, discussed it." Now, I made a conclusion towards the end of the game, and to my surprise, I was right and wrong at the same time. And the curveball was more of like a slider and a curveball, more than a fastball. So the rest of the story felt like a fastball. And what do I mean by that? It means like you go from point A to point B, get what you need, and then your next step, point A to point B. Where I see the curveball was what I was trying to, what I was saying, the reason why I was saying who actually committed the murder was completely in odd field. But if you pay attention enough to the game, you're going to kind of feel something is off, and you're going to be like, right? And then at the end, completely, there was a slider with like something completely different. I didn't realize that would. I liked the twist at the end, and what I what I appreciate about the story. So basically the story is you're solving the murder of Halcyon Helen, which is a serial actor, which is basically the equivalent of soaps, uh, right here. And the and I'm not gonna go into more than that, but um, the DLC actually played out like a soap would, and I find that's what the irony is, and it's so amazing. Like they did that, and I really appreciated the story writing. I appreciated the voice acting. Now I will say this: the voice acting is really well done, but it feels like they had like four voice actors for all the characters, and they voiced a lot of people. But I heard the same guy. The one that comes into play is um, the guy that was at the not the botanical gardens, but the orchards, and there was a guy that was at the at a bar. That voice, I know, like I don't know who the name is or who voiced it, but that voice was appearing the whole way through, and they didn't even attempt to camouflage the voice, which to me is stunning. If you're gonna do that, at least make an effort to make it sound a little bit different. It reminds me a bit like Fallout 3. Fallout 3 had like the same voice actors over and over and over again. Even here, the caricatures were the same. With there's a few characters that you meet that are completely different in terms of the look, but then you see that there's the same model of character found all over the place. So they kind of skimped out, but at the same time, they kind of didn't. In a way, it's weird. But in terms of the base game and the first DLC and this DLC, this one was the most polished, the most in terms of story. I think they learned a lot of lessons from the base game and from the first DLC. And when building this one, I feel there's like hints a bit of New Vegas in a sense that stories can go all over the place, and it's actually pretty. And I appreciated that. In general, I would recommend anybody that would play the game or play this DLC. I would recommend it. Get the expansion pass only for this one. Gorgon, I couldn't care for. It's as if like Gorgon was like they slapped it together just to release something. And I was saying this earlier. So when I did my original review of Murder on Gorgon, I said that I would never pay $14.95 for that DLC. I do feel that it's still a little bit steep for $14.99 for this. At least I think it's Canadian. It might be USD for this DLC, but I appreciate this one a lot more, and I'm on the fence. I don't know if I maybe would recommend it, but at this point, for the price difference, I would probably get the expansion pass because the expansion pass is $24.99. So yeah, it's worth it for that alone. This was a fun one. I really liked it. You guys have seen my different my different streams and stuff. I really yes, there's a lot of cutscenes, there's a lot of dialogues. It's not going to be for everyone, but if you like these types of games, you like the DLCs, DLC type stories, this is for you, and I think it's really done well. I like the fact that you can go venture uh, a little bit everywhere and find stuff. There's a couple of things were a little bit weird because I wandered off on my own without following the storyline, and that's my fault. But in general, it encourages you to go and find stuff because you find a bunch of different things. You find some clues just wandering around. And the world is so beautiful and colorful. It's so nice to just walk around and talk to people and listen to the quirky characters. It's really fun. It's really cool. And I recommend it. So to anybody that that is on the fence about this DLC, please, it's really worth it. I know if you were disappointed with Gorgon, you will not be disappointed with this one. And that's my recommendation. All right, guys. Thank you so much for passing by and watching the stream. Thank you, Kenny, for passing by as well. Want to say thank you to everyone that hosted me. So Plotsky by Bizarre Gaming, Overwriter, PK Theater, Engineering Gaming Nerd, Psych, Angry Gorilla, Still the Bad Guy Gaming, Mr. Garf 1988, and Gallows Adler. Thank you so much for the hosts. Really appreciate it. If you guys want to read my reviews, you can go to aroundtable.ca where I have released my review of Mass Effect. Short version of that, pretty much. I think I think the story is worth playing, but I don't think that. I think that the Legendary Edition will fix a lot of the stuff that doesn't age very well in Mass Effect. The controls really take you out of it. They're really clunky. Um, the characters are really well voiced. The visual is okay. I mean, it's an Xbox 360 game, but I didn't find it was like I like the story. The story was great, but I didn't. A lot of people put the game on a pedestal, and I just don't see it. And it's maybe because I'm playing it later. Maybe if I played it at the time that it came out, it would have a different outlook on it. I was trying to look at it from a lens as well when it came out on 360. But at the end of the day, there's too many things that didn't age very well. And to go back and play it is a little wonky. Now, apparently, Mass Effect 2 and 3 have fixed a lot of the controlling issues, a lot of the stuff that were complaints about the first one. That's fine. But there's a lot of games that came out around that time that did a lot better job. And yeah. So that's it for me tonight. Hope that you guys liked the review. Thank you for spending time with me on the channel, on the stream, on this Sunday night. Hope that if you guys have tomorrow off, hope that you enjoy your day. If not, hope that you guys have a great week. And I shall see you next time. And the next time we're going to see each other, probably I'm going to be playing Fallout 4. Have a good one, guys.